one wants to fuck anymore. Seriously. No one wants to make out. No one wants to flirt. Everyone's tired, anxious, and touch-starved. So I wrote this Substack essay about how we're in a sexual recession and what's causing that. And see, women are some of the most educated, employed, and financially stable generation of women yet. So we don't need men for survival. If we're in partnership, it's because we want to be in partnership. And that is definitely impacting the way that dating, relationships, hookup culture, situationship culture is happening in Gen Z right now. Men have been told by their fathers, grandfathers, society that they are focused on providing for their women and their families. And I think now that Gen Z women can support themselves financially, we don't need men to provide for us. We definitely want them to, for sure, but we don't need them. We're focused more on equal partnerships and men that can show up emotionally available and be attuned to us. And unfortunately, I don't think the men are catching up, and this is causing a lot of strife. I think women collectively are realizing that there's not really a point to giving your body to someone that acts like they don't care if you live or die. And on top of that, they're not providing financially. And a part of that is not entirely their fault because the economy that we're in is very difficult. And I think everyone is feeling the effects of that. But it's like, okay, the men are not planning dates. They're not paying for dates. They're not providing anything financially, and then on top of that, you're not emotionally available. Anytime I express myself, it's too much emotional labor, or I'm emotionally high maintenance, and it's like, what is the benefit of me giving myself to you if I get absolutely nothing in return? I think all of this is also contributing to the whole male loneliness epidemic, where men are starting to be decentered. I think women are focused a lot more on themselves, working on their relationships, building their careers, working on their finances, and because of that, men are not needed as much. Now I think women are focused on wanting men and being very intentional about choosing the men in our lives rather than being with men out of survival for financial needs. And on top of that, it's like, again, if you're not contributing to me financially and supporting me, making me the best version of myself, and also you're not contributing emotionally by being in tune with me and listening to me and actually caring about my feelings, it kind of feels like there's no point. It's not entirely the men's fault. It's also the patriarchy and capitalism and all of these systems that have been built to break us down and to divide us. And one of my mutuals, Justin, made a really good point where sex and intimacy is becoming a luxury. If you can't afford to date, if you can't afford to go to therapy, if you were not raised in an environment where you were taught to work on yourselves and to reflect and be empathetic, you are going to be at a disadvantage and you're not going to have the same access to relationships that maybe previous generations have. And I think another big thing as well with our generation is everybody is afraid of vulnerability. Everybody's afraid of intimacy, and that's also contributing to the divide as well. And I'm honestly seeing that in my personal life as well with my friends who are all educated, well-spoken, good head on their shoulders, good people that are beautiful and kind and giving, and even they are in a similar predicament where a lot of people are not in relationships because they don't want to acquiesce to their side, and a lot of people are horny and pent up and have no sort of release because, again, why give yourself to someone that can't contribute to you in some way? But also, people don't want to do the work to be the type of person that can be in a relationship. So where do we go from here? There's a lot that we can't control in this world, but there are things that we can control, and that's how we treat each other. And I think one solution to this would be, I would love if the men would take a step forward and try to become more emotionally available, try to be vulnerable, and be comfortable with intimacy. Even if it doesn't necessarily start with the women that you're pursuing, even if that's in your friendships, I think that is an amazing, great first step. Going to therapy, talking about your feelings, getting comfortable, being emotional, because if this continues, the problem is just going to grow more and more, because I don't think that a generation of people who are all pent up and repressed and horny is good for society. So all I want is for people to have great love stories, great relationships, and really great sex.